a $550 million megaship, nearly 900 feet long, designed not to fight wars, but to absorb their aftermath. This is the United States Navy's hospital that happens to float. Converted from a commercial supertanker, USNS Mercy delivers up to 1,000 beds and 12 operating rooms, yet depends on a single helicopter pad to receive the wounded. It is both a diplomatic weapon, marked by red crosses, and a Cold War relic, carrying immense value but startling vulnerability. Why does the United States still rely on a city-sized hospital at sea? And what happens if its role cannot be replaced? The answer begins where oil once gave way to medicine. In the mid-1980s, United States Navy planners faced a stark choice: build a hospital ship from scratch, or gamble on transforming a surplus oil tanker into something the world had never seen. The answer was driven by budget, urgency, and Cold War logic. At a time when new warships could cost billions of dollars, the Navy and the Military Sealift Command saw an opening. For about $550 million, spread across planning, shipyard work, and military outfitting, they could take the massive hull of the SS Worth, a San Clemente-class commercial supertanker, and convert it into a floating trauma center capable of absorbing mass casualties far from home. Conversion began in July 1984 at National Steel and Shipbuilding in San Diego, with the ship entering service in late 1986. The calculus was simple but bold. Repurposing an oil carrier offered unmatched internal volume, stability, and speed to delivery compared to building new. The program manager's view was clear. Every dollar saved on hull construction could be spent on medical capacity, technology, and readiness. Instead of a warship with a sickbay, the Navy would get a city-sized hospital that could steam into disaster zones or war theaters, ready to absorb the human cost of conflict. This was a Cold War investment, designed to deliver medical power at a scale no rival could match, and to do it fast before the next crisis struck. Stretching 894 feet from bow to stern, the hull beneath USNS Mercy is pure commercial muscle. This is no sleek warship, but a San Clemente-class supertanker repurposed for medicine at a scale few hospitals on land or sea can rival. With a beam of 106 feet and a displacement topping 69,360 tons, the ship's sheer volume is staggering. The double-bottomed hull, originally built to haul crude oil across oceans, now serves a different kind of endurance. It steadies the vessel against Pacific swells, giving surgeons a stable platform for trauma care even in rough seas. The dimensions are not just impressive, they are enabling. Wide corridors, vast deckhouses, and cavernous holds become medical wards, operating suites, and supply stores. This city-sized volume is what makes the idea possible: a floating hospital with enough space for 1,000 beds, 12 operating rooms, and the infrastructure to run them all. The DNA of a supertanker, designed for global range and heavy cargo, becomes the backbone of a mobile trauma center, able to absorb the human cost of war, disaster, or pandemic far from shore. Inside the hull, the numbers feel almost unreal. Mercy is equipped to care for up to 1,000 patients at once, more than many city hospitals on land. The ship holds 12 fully equipped operating rooms, ready for round-the-clock trauma surgery. 80 beds are set aside for intensive care, each with the monitors, ventilators, and backup power needed to keep the sickest patients alive. There are another 20 beds for recovery, 280 for intermediate care, 120 for lighter cases, and 500 for those who need long-term support. The onboard medical staff can swell to more than 1,200, including Navy doctors, nurses, corpsmen, and support personnel, all working alongside a civilian crew. In practical terms, this means Mercy can handle mass casualties from a major battle, a natural disaster, or a pandemic absorbing patients at a scale that would overwhelm most regional health systems. For the medical officers who run these decks, this is not just a ship. It is a mobile hospital ecosystem designed to deliver care on a scale and speed that few places on Earth can match. Casualties arrive at the stern, and the process begins in a space designed for speed and clarity. The triage team, led by a Navy medical officer, sorts each patient by urgency, directing the most critical cases straight to one of 12 operating rooms. Just steps away, surgical teams work in shifts, using equipment that rivals any major hospital. After surgery, patients move to recovery beds or one of the 80 intensive care units, each monitored around the clock. For those facing longer recoveries, intermediate and limited care wards provide space for hundreds more. Supporting this flow is a backbone of medical infrastructure. 2 oxygen plants feed clean air to every ward and operating room. The ship's blood bank can store up to 5,000 units, ready for mass transfusions if needed. Clinical labs process samples around the clock, while the pharmacy stocks everything from antibiotics to pain management. Elevators and wide corridors connect each link in the chain, allowing medical teams to move patients and supplies with an efficiency that would be impossible in a landlocked crisis. Every step, from triage to recovery, is contained within this floating system, built to keep care moving, no matter what waits outside. Every patient on USNS Mercy has to make it through one narrow gateway, the flight deck. For all its hospital-scale numbers, 12 operating rooms, and 1,000 beds, the ship relies on a single helicopter pad at the stern. In high-tempo missions, the pace is not set by how fast surgeons can work, but by how quickly the flight deck officer can cycle aircraft in and out. The deck is cleared for one H-60 Seahawk at a time, with only temporary shelter for a second. Crews work under pressure, juggling landing schedules, patient transfers, and unpredictable weather. Mercy holds 90,000 gallons of JP-5 jet fuel, enough to keep helicopters coming for days. But the system is only as fast as the deck can turn over. Before the 2021 upgrade, the ship could not even accept the larger V-22 Osprey, limiting options for mass casualty events. Even now, with the reinforced deck and new gear, the bottleneck remains. No matter how many beds are ready inside, the real ceiling on care is how quickly the next helicopter can land. For the flight deck team, every minute counts, and every delay ripples through the entire floating hospital behind them. Painted white with giant red crosses, USNS Mercy carries a different kind of power into port. By international law, these markings declare her a protected non-combatant, off limits to attack under the Geneva Conventions. The message goes further. When the Mercy drops anchor off Indonesia after a tsunami, or pulls alongside a Pacific island for a medical exercise, she is not just a hospital. She is a statement. The ship's presence signals that the United States can deliver massive aid without sending troops or warships. In exercises like Pacific Partnership, local doctors and nurses join Navy medical teams on board, building trust and skills that last long after the ship departs. For many partner nations, seeing the Mercy's civilian master and hybrid crew, with civilian mariners running the engines and Navy doctors running the wards, underscores that this is not an occupation force. It is a floating embassy of medicine. In regions wary of foreign military power, the ship's humanitarian identity opens doors that might otherwise stay closed. The hull may be steel, but its real strength is diplomatic, forging alliances, shifting opinions, and making friends for the United States without firing a shot. Mercy's real test has never been in theory, but in action. During Operation Desert Storm, the ship treated more than 690 patients and carried out over 200 surgeries, with medical teams working around the clock as casualties arrived in waves. After the 2004 tsunami struck Indonesia, helicopters shuttled burn and trauma victims to the deck, pushing the crew to care for more than 700 patients and to perform 200 surgeries, even as weather and flight deck traffic slowed the flow. In Haiti's 2010 earthquake aftermath, Mercy's wards filled with over 1,000 injured, stabilizing the region's shattered health system. In 2020, as COVID-19 threatened to overwhelm Los Angeles, Mercy stood ready as a relief valve, its sheer presence helping to keep local hospitals from collapse. Each mission exposed the limits of access and speed, but also proved the ship's value when disaster outpaces everything else on land. For all its medical might, Mercy is exposed in ways no warship would accept. The ship is unarmed, painted white, and topped with red crosses, protected by law but not by armor. Its hull, built for oil not battle, draws a deep draft that limits where it can anchor, and its top speed barely reaches 17.5 knots. In a high-threat zone, the risk is real. A single mine, a missile, or a swarm of small boats could cripple the vessel before help arrives. Mercy always needs an armed escort when danger is near. The very design that delivers unmatched care also leaves the ship vulnerable, forcing commanders to weigh every deployment against the possibility of loss. The Navy's next step is the Expeditionary Medical Ship, with 124 beds, 4 operating rooms, and top speeds over 30 knots. But can smaller and faster ships ever truly replace the scale of a 1,000-bed hospital at sea? Today, a Cold War-scale hospital ship still waits offshore. It is neither obsolete nor easily replaced. Disasters, pandemics, and conflict keep proving how fragile land-based care can be. Mercy's existence is a $500 million bet that, when a crisis overwhelms, there is no substitute for scale at sea. What would we risk without it?